and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all of you Scorpios out there. You Scorpios who are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. This is a reading for you today, or for anybody who has a lot of water in their charts as well. This reading may resonate with you. It is a general reading. It's not going to resonate with all of you Scorpios out there. And also you cross watchers who are interested in Scorpio, are in a relationship with a Scorpio, want to be in a relationship with a Scorpio. You may also find that this reading resonates with you on a energy of actually the messages being crossed over. So you may think that you're watching it for somebody else, but it may turn out that the right reading is actually more relevant to yourself than it is to the person that you're listening to it for. So just a warning for all you cross watchers out there. Also, before I forget, which I have done already because that's kind of what happens with my head, I'm just going to get on with the reading and hopefully things will come back to me as and when. I was probably going to talk a little bit about the astrology at this moment in time, but I think I'm probably just going to get straight on with your reading, Scorpio, because that seems to be where it's going. So, first card, your overall energy card, the major arcana card and the magician, because I'm choosing one card from this particular deck, just one major arcana, to give like an overall flavour to the reading so that you know kind of what's happening on a larger scale. And the magician is saying to me, it's all about manifestation for a start, but what came through really strongly for me today was the fact that all of these tools that he has here are absolutely vital to the manifestation of anything. So anything that we want to manifest, first of all, starts off as a thought, which is what the swords represent. The swords represent the logical brain, the thinking mind, the kind of being able to cut through things, sharp. It's Mercury energy. So Mercury in his best qualities is very sharp, very quick thinking. If you think of kind of Mercury being a fast moving metal, then you can get an understanding of the kind of Mercury elements here. And then we have the cup. So it goes from a thought, because everything starts with a thought, into an emotion. So we have a thought which then becomes an emotion in our body, and the cups is related to the energy of Venus, the emotions, kind of the water element, so it's putting our emotions into our manifestation as well. So we have a thought which becomes an emotion, and it's the emotion that kind of gets us activated, if you like. And so that's where this wand or rod comes in, because this is to do with the fire element, and that's the creativity and the passion behind making something manifest. And it manifests down here in this pentacle energy, which is also the physical realm. But if you see here, this light above him is literally coming into his forehead here. So it's kind of saying that these thoughts, these manifestations, start from a thought outside that kind of comes into our awareness. And then we go through this process. So there's the thought, the emotion, the passion, and the bringing it into the physical realm. So Scorpio, that's the energy that's around at this moment in time. So this is about manifesting something that you're focusing on, because that's also something that you need as well. You need to focus your attention on these energies here to bring them all into being. So it's either something that you are focusing on, Scorpio, it's something that you have been focusing on, manifesting, or it's something that you're hoping to manifest in your future. But we have the Lovers as your heart of your reading today, Scorpio, in reverse. And so the Lovers for me here is saying that there's this strong feeling at this moment in time that, well, first of all, that something needs to change. Because when we choose somebody to be our partner, somebody who we want to share our life with, somebody who we want to give our time and energy to, there are reasons that we are attracted to this person. And this is the intellect, this is the kind of physical attraction, and this is more to do with the kind of nurturing, caring. So really, we want a combination of all of these three together. But when it feels like something is missing and something is not in balance here, which is what this feels like to me at the moment because it's in reverse, often we can kind of be attracted to somebody physically very quickly, but that doesn't mean that that physical attraction is going to last or sustain a relationship. Equally, we can be attracted to somebody because they have a mental clarity or capacity. We can have conversations with them, we can communicate with them on the same level, we can understand where they're coming from, they understand where we're coming from. But again, that isn't enough. And then there's also this element here of like being kind, considerate, caring, nurturing, the kind of motherly instinct as well of taking care. So for me, this is saying today that something is missing within this relationship, and that there's disappointment here as well. In fact, there's great heartache here because it's covered over by the Three of Swords. So this is the challenge. And I don't feel the challenge is for you to kind of wound somebody and hurt somebody, although that may be something that you are going to have to do if you're preparing to leave a relationship here. It may be that the way that you have to do that could be by hurting this other person, not physically, but emotionally wounding this person very deeply. This person may not even be aware of the fact that this is how you're feeling as well, Scorpio, or Scorpio cross watchers. There could also be a situation here where there is more than two people involved, or two people involved. So a third person. And somebody's going to end up getting hurt in this situation. But there could also be here a situation, I'm also getting the feeling that there could be Scorpios, those of you that have kind of walked away from this, although it was painful to do so, but now you need to kind of look for the healing element within this as well, and see that it wasn't a good place for you to be in. It wasn't a good relationship for you. It was causing you more harm than it was good. That's for some of you Scorpios. It's not necessarily for all of you. Or some of you cross watchers as well. So what's in the head at the moment is the card of Temperance, also known as Iris in Greek mythology, the goddess of the rainbow. And the rainbow is always an auspicious symbol. And it speaks of relationships, because she holds this cup here and this cup here, the gold representing the masculine sun energy as it was always known, and the silver representing the feminine moon energy. So it would be like the divine energies, the masculine and the feminine, though it doesn't have to be just a masculine feminine relationship. But it talks of the need for flow of feeling within a relationship. And that's what I was kind of picking up on here, that there's this kind of something's lacking. And although this has come out upright, it's what's in your head and what you're aware of, Scorpio. I'm feeling that some of you are thinking that you can mend this. But there does need to be a lot of communication, a lot of honesty for those of you that are wanting to try and resolve this problem. But there also needs to be a lot of patience here as well. It talks of patience, it talks of kind of taking time away from a situation even. Temperance, the angel Temperance or Iris, was always only ever manifested, shall we say, in a relationship. She was like the energy around the relationship. So you had the two people who made up the relationship, and then this is kind of the energy around it. It's kind of the relationship itself, if you like. So within those two, you have the two people, but outside of those two people, there is another dimension, another, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Another level. You have the actual creation of the relationship, and this is what this is talking about, is this kind of creation, the manifestation of this relationship itself, the energy that goes into the relationship and what it becomes in itself. And a relationship really does need to have communication. Because without communication, things become very stagnant. And mistakes can also be kind of, can happen. Because there can be confusion. So there's a need here for open, I feel very open, heartfelt communication here. To keep things flowing backwards and forwards. Like pouring from one cup to another. Because if you think of a river and how a river will stagnate if it's blocked, the oxygen dies, fish no longer can swim in it, animals can no longer live in it. And a relationship is pretty much the same kind of thing, in the sense that if you stop that flow of communication, it will stagnate, like I've said. So that's what I'm picking up here for you Scorpios within this relationship. I also feel though that it was a relationship that was very like it fed, it nurtured and it fed. If it had been upside down, I would have said that this was probably, you know, a no-go, a real like false hope in many ways, but I don't feel that this is false hope. And what you're moving away from is the Nine of Cups. And this is the card of wish fulfillment and reunion within a relationship as well, which this whole reading is completely about relationships, starting off with the Lovers and the Three of Swords here. Even with this energy here, this manifestation energy as well, because you still have to manifest, you still have to put all of these energies into a relationship in order for it to come to fruition, in order for it to actually become something more than just two people. But because this is in reverse, this is saying to me that this has been a relationship, I feel, that has tried to be worked on, but the problems have not been resolved. That doesn't mean that they can't be, but there is difficulty here. There is difficulty, there is problems, there is blockages, there is not seeing eye to eye. Whether this is you, Scorpio, or the person that you're with, Scorpio cross watchers, this could also relate to yourselves. But there's definitely a situation here where you're not on the same page. Possibly not even around the same, well, at the moment it's difficult to be kind of in the same space as well, unless you live with somebody. But if you are living with this person, I feel as though it's quite difficult, in the sense of it's not easy for you to be around them. So you're tending to kind of keep your own space anyway. And what's underneath your subconscious, the root cause of what's happening here, is the Death card in reverse. So this is saying that there is a change and a transformation taking place here, which could also be why you're feeling this energy as well, because at this moment in time, this transformation, I mean, this is a major arcana card. This is a big energy, and it's in your, and this is a big energy as well. I mean, Temperance, you've got two major arcana cards here. So this is saying to me that there is something, there's a transformation, there is a big change taking place here, on a deep subconscious level as well. And I feel that that's also to do with your actual, not so much your environment so much as your inner being here, Scorpio, and Scorpio cross watchers as well. But there's this transformation taking place, whether it's with both of you, but I don't feel it is so much between both of you. But there is this sense that it is worth carrying on. That there can be this kind of rainbow, this kind of, because a rainbow always kind of represented a bridge between the divine and the physical realm. And it kind of brings this energy back in as well. It's manifesting something higher coming into the physical plane, something that's kind of divinely inspired here. So I'm going to say that there could have been a very special relationship here, where possibly the two of you felt as though you were meant to be very strongly, meant to be together. But for some reason it hasn't worked out yet. That doesn't mean it won't work out. And just because this card is down here in your subconscious and what you're not so much aware of, this is your inner feeling, this is your deeper kind of feelings and knowings, and there is this kind of, I feel, there is this kind of transformation that is taking place. Again, it could be both of you, it could just be one of you, which is possibly why you're kind of needing this time apart as well. And that the reunion that you were hoping for it to happen hasn't happened, because this is still ongoing. This change process, this death process, this rebirth process. And what's moving in is a new beginning, but it is in reverse. So again, get this feeling that it's a new beginning that's kind of a difficult start to it. It's kind of a sense of things a bit bumpy, like a bit of a bumpy ride. Like you want this new beginning, but at the same time, the trust seems to be the hardest issue here. Because this card is all about trust. When it's up the right way, it's all about trusting that leap into the unknown. And when we start any relationship, we don't know what we're getting into for a start. But when you've been in a relationship with somebody and you've experienced something that's been painful, or you're going to experience something that's been painful, you feel as though you're going to cause something that's painful, Scorpio, there's also that aspect to it as well. It does kind of give a sense of mistrust on both sides as well. Can you trust that other person again? Can you open up to them enough? Even though you want to, I feel, because this is what's in your head and what you're aware of, Scorpio, is that you do want to open up to this person. You do want to have that loving, flowing, easygoing relationship that I feel that you have had with this person in the past. But something happened which has caused this heartache and this wounding and this questioning of who this person truly is. You thought you knew them, I feel, as well, on some level. Now you're kind of doubting your own instincts, your own feelings towards it. So Scorpio, let's pull some more cards and see what we come up with. So for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, some clarity on why the Lovers and the Three of Swords is here. And the messages that are trying to be told here. What is the reason and what does Scorpio need to know about the Lovers and the Three of Swords? The person that they chose as their partner. What is it that Scorpio needs to be aware of here? What is the reason, universe? Thank you. We have two cards. We have the King of Fire and the Ace of Earth. So like I said, there does want to be a new beginning. Ace of Earth, all the aces are a new energy, an energy that is coming in to kind of build on something, which is what this manifestation energy is about here as well, building something. And maybe the question in your head is, are you going to be able to build this with somebody else? Because if you look here, I tend to kind of see this antler as this kind of solitary figure here who's kind of put his time, his energy into just this one side. So it's like this side is missing. So it's like he's not kind of complete. He doesn't feel complete. But they are both upright. Both of these cards have come out upright. And with the King of Fire here, it is all about your heart. It is all about who you give your heart to. And again, it's about, I mean, the King of Fire represents Leo, Sagittarius and Aries energy. That very fiery, very passionate, very creative. So I feel, Scorpio, that whoever it is that you want to give your heart to, there is this huge, you have this huge amount of passion for this person. Male or female makes no difference. But it's like you know that this is the person that you want to give your heart to. Almost like you're saving it for this person. And if you look closely as well, there's kind of this bonfire around this heart as well. And it's lit up. So I get the feeling that this person also lights you up as well. Scorpio. They light you up. You become happier when you're around them. And you want to complete something. Also, if you look here, it's kind of like, it almost feels to me as though something was happening and then it kind of got cut off in the past. It wasn't allowed to kind of grow on both sides. but there is a new energy coming in here. And also on his face as well, if you look very carefully, he's got like this moth or like this butterfly kind of something is happening, transforming. He himself is transforming as well. So again, that deep sense of transformation that is taking place. It's kind of, you're becoming aware of it. And maybe you're also beginning to realise that this is kind of something that you've had to go through in order to finally be able to maybe just, you know, give your heart fully. I hope you didn't just hear my stomach rumble, because it just did very loudly. Apologise for that. I have eaten, I'm not hungry. So next we have card of Temperance. So let's see why the card of Temperance is here for you Scorpios. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising energy. Why is the Temperance card there? Also, I'm not sure if you can hear that dog that's barking outside very loudly. It is daytime and there's a lot of activity in the street out there. So Temperance, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Why is the Temperance card here for Scorpio? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Scorpio and Scorpio Crosswatcher. Interesting. We have the Magician. So that's twice you've had the Magician card come out, Scorpio, which is totally wanting to manifest this. You just want to manifest this. Like, you're just so focused on manifesting this. It's not funny. Well, it's not funny for you anyway. Yeah, what can I say? Determined. Determined. I just get this really strong sense of determination. You're not going to give up, Scorpio. Your mind has been made up. You're not sure yet, I feel, how you're going to do it. But you're so certain that you're going to do it. And that is half the battle, really, is that certainty. That kind of look, if you look in his face, it's like, that's a puzzle. He looks to me like he's puzzled over something, but it's kind of like, it may be a puzzle, but I'm going to solve it. And in fact, it looks to me as though he's kind of even enjoying it. He has a kind of Santa Claus look to me as well. And that he's going to enjoy solving whatever it is that he's going to solve. And if you look in his hand down here, he's holding this tiny, tiny little fairy. It's similar somehow to this card here as well. Both holding something in their hands, both holding something out. And with this, it's kind of this fairy kind of represents magic in that sense of bringing everything together and working with the elements here so that everything works for you rather than against you. I just get this great sense of determination and focus on what it is that you hold in your hand and what you really know that you want. Okay, Scorpio. And maybe that's what you're doing at the moment. Maybe you are manifesting this to bring to this person and say, look what I can create. Look what I've created. I'm not saying that you're going to create a fairy, but it's like, you know, I can create this. I can build this. I can make this happen. And maybe that was the problem previously. Maybe you didn't have enough conviction, possibly, as well. So the Nine of Cups, Scorpio. Let's see why that's here as well. Why is the Nine of Cups here for Scorpio? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Why do we have the Nine of Cups here? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Why is the Nine of Cups here? Let me just pick that up. Okay, Ace of Fire in reverse. So like I was saying previously, I kind of feel that this is the same energy of trying to make something happen. A lot of passion here. A lot of passion. Possibly too much passion and not enough of everything else. As I was saying earlier with this card here, something missing. And it certainly isn't the passion, I don't feel. Even though it's in reverse, I feel somehow that has kind of worked against rather than for you, Scorpios. And Scorpios, you are a very passionate sign. You're very passionately driven. You're water sign. You're not a fire sign. You are a water sign, but you have a deep sense of passionate sexual energy. An interesting thing about this card as well, if you can see it, if I hold it up carefully, you can see this little fairy here as well, and she is actually clutching this little red heart to her chest. And when it's upside down, for me, it's kind of saying, don't hurt my heart. If I give you my heart, you have to look after it. So here, I feel as though the heart is not being given here properly, or somebody has kind of given it and it's been given back, possibly even rejected, with this Three of Swords here for some of you Scorpios. There could be this deep sense of rejection, but you're still not giving up, I don't feel. There's still something that is driving you. With this Ace of Fire here as well, it is a new, passionate, kind of fiery energy. You're still driven by this. You're still desiring this. even though it is in reverse. And I kind of feel as though it has kind of come to a halt, shall we say. Yeah, with it being upside down as well. This kind of flame of passion, if you like, has kind of, I wouldn't say that it's been put out. I don't think that's true at all. I don't think that the flame of passion has been put out. If anything, I think it's made it even stronger. And made you more determined, Scorpio. But you need to watch that you don't over focus on that and that alone. That there is more to this relationship than just this kind of sexual, passionate, driving element, even though you may be completely 100% attracted sexually to this person, and it may have been the best sex that you've ever had in your entire life, Scorpio. There is more to this relationship than just that. So if that's everything that you're focusing on, then you need to kind of redirect. And maybe that's also what this is saying here. You need to kind of bring it all together. Because for me, in many ways, when I think about it as well, these three tools here represent these three energies as well. And kind of the sword here representing Athene and her kind of very logical, strategic kind of mind, very somebody who's very intelligent, very intellectual, somebody who needs to have communication and conversations, and also a seeker of knowledge, the truth also. And the sword represents the truth. And then you've got Aphrodite here, who's kind of represented by this fire, shall we say, of passion. I feel is much more the Aphrodite card, the energy, the fire, the passion, the bodily needs, sexual desire. Because in this particular scenario, Aphrodite was chosen by Paris as the most beautiful of the goddesses, and in doing so he won Helen of Troy, which started off a 10-year war, but that's a completely different story in some ways. But Hera here for me represents this kind of emotional element as well, the cups, because she represents the creative, she represents the emotional, nurturing, deeper, more motherly, more caring side, which is what the emotions need. So each of these three goddesses here is also represented within these three tools here, which you need to kind of bring all of these together in order to create what you're wanting to create down here, Scorpio. So at the moment you're very much focused, oh, not that one, wrong card. You're very much focused on this energy here. It's very passionate energy, and as I was saying, he won. I know she's got the cup in her hand, but Paris chose Aphrodite purely because she just unrobed herself and showed him her beautiful goddess body. And after that, it was basically a foregone conclusion, being young and immature. So I'm just saying, Scorpio, that you may need to refocus some of your attention here. Although there is a lot of passion driving this. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it could be a little bit intense. Scorpio. Because we all know Scorpios are not intense. So let's move on to your subconscious, Scorpio. And we have at the moment down here, we have the Death card, your transformational energy. Or also feeling like that you've gone through a death. There could also be that side to it as well, so a part of you has died. But maybe that part of you had to die in order for something to be resurrected. And maybe you're not aware of that part at the moment as well. It kind of also ties in with the Three of Swords there as well, because the Three of Swords can also represent, although it's a painful situation, it can also represent a healing, a catharsis, a kind of realization that how you thought things weren't necessarily as they actually were. And it's a kind of realization, it's that kind of moment of truth, if you like, that kind of pops that bubble, bursts the reality of how you thought it was and kind of shows you how things actually are. And it's only really in that understanding that the healing can take place and that you can actually move on energetically. So we have the Messenger of Water down here with the Death card. And the Messenger of Water for me, it represents the Knight of Cups for a start. So it represents a kind of romance. It represents somebody offering something. But to me, I always think of this little seahorse as feeling as though he's not as worthy. Because this is kind of really beautiful, really kind of ornate, really adorned, really, you see all these kind of fancy things all over her. And she's just kind of opening her eyes up here to look at this little seahorse. And this little seahorse kind of, he hasn't even got his tail uncurled here. For me, it always kind of looks as though he's kind of saying, like, you know, is it okay if I talk to you? Is it all right if I tell you how I'm feeling? Would you mind if I tell you how I'm feeling? I have this message that I want to say to you. But it feels small and insignificant compared to how the seahorse views this person. So that's kind of the message here for me, Scorpio, is that you are this kind of little seahorse here. And you see this other person who you're absolutely, totally focused on, totally wanting to manifest back into your life, totally besotted by. You see them as this incredible, unique kind of creature with their own kind of understanding of life and their own kind of way of doing things. And because it's always, to me, you know, it's like her headdress is quite flamboyant and kind of, I also kind of see it as being connected to the kind of I suppose the psychic realm, for want of a better expression. So there could be this kind of side to this person as well that you may feel even more insignificant from, or less than, because they have this kind of other worldliness about them. Scorpio. but it is up the right way, and she is kind of opening her eyes, kind of ready to receive this kind of message that you are wanting to bring. But again, this is your subconscious. This is the deeper understanding. And I'd say on some level that you kind of, this is possibly also what you're transforming out of, this little seahorse here. And how you view yourself, Scorpio, and how you have viewed yourself in this relationship as being smaller and not as important and not as magnificent, or, and I'm only saying that purely because of her clothing and her style and her, it's all very yeah, flamboyant and very creative as well. There's a creativity here that you may feel that you lack on some level, Scorpio. I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying that you may feel that way. And because the messenger of water is all about the feelings, it is all about the subconscious realm itself. It relates to the signs of Scorpio, yourself, Cancers and Pisces. So you may be kind of in that realm of having to look at yourself on a deeper level as well, Scorpio. So let's see why the Fool is here. What is the Fool trying to tell you at this present time, Scorpio? Why is the Fool here? Why is the Fool here in reverse for Scorpio? Why is the Fool here in reverse for Scorpio? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Why is the Fool here? Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising. Why is the Fool here? Why is the Fool here, universe? The incoming energy of this Fool, this leap into the unknown that you're not wanting to take necessarily. Well, you have the Emperor card. And the Emperor card is all about power. It's all about victory in many ways as well, especially when it's upright. And for me, it's also about kind of bringing things into the physical realm as well. It's about kind of that manifestation taking place, because the Emperor is kind of, I feel as though it is relating to going from being this little seahorse down here to kind of finding your inner lion, shall we say, your inner source of self-confidence and power, and really knowing yourself here, Scorpio. If you look at his face, he's kind of very confident, very self-assured, very aware of what he's doing and why he's doing it and how he's going to get what he wants. And it may be a bit of a battlefield as well, because as I was saying, this is a bumpy ride. This is a bumpy ride, but it's like the Emperor is ready to go there. The Emperor is kind of saying, bring it on. Bring it on. I can cope. I can handle it. I can deal with it. Bring it on. I haven't, you know, got all these battle scars and these battle wounds and for nothing. I have experience. I have grown in confidence, in strength. So it's a very powerful card. Very powerful card. So Scorpio, that's a great card to end on, because for me it is about success and it is about victory and it is about you achieving what you want to achieve and getting what it is that you want to get. If it was upside down, I would also give a warning of it possibly being over powerful, but it isn't. It's up the right way, so I think it's very positive. And your Moonology Oracle card here is the South Node. Don't let your past hold you back, which I think is a perfect ending. Don't let your past hold you back. This is your past. This is your past. This is little you, not feeling as though you had the strength or you had the courage, or always kind of feeling as though you were, what's the word? I'm going, what am I feeling here? As though you almost like were having to apologize for your existence in a way. But again, I feel that's more from your side than it is from the other side. I think it's more the way that you viewed the world, Scorpio. But you're not going to be viewing the world like that for much longer, I don't feel. I think this new beginning that's coming, you are going to grab it with both hands. And you aren't going to let that past hold you back. As I was talking about here as well, this kind of energy of like wanting to kind of balance things out, grow things together, so that there's this kind of symmetry, there's this kind of overall kind of, yeah, just equality and equal. That's what you're looking for, and I feel that that's also what this other person is looking for. But because of your past, there has been problems, and it could also have something to do with trust as well, because this is the card of trusting the unknown, taking that leap into the unknown. So you could also be feeling that you can't, like I was saying earlier, you can't trust this person again. But I think, again, you're going to overcome that, Scorpio. You're not going to let that hold you back. Lovely cards. And your Namaste Blessing card is a card that came out the other day, and I'm trying to remember which reading it came out in. I think it might have come out in the reading that I did for the Saturn Mars conjunction, which has just taken place. It's a blessing woven in time. And it says, the present circumstances are guiding you to a sacred space inside you, from where you will see things more clearly. Look through the eye of the soul and you will find the answer. This card is a blessing woven in time. The time will soon come. So there you go. Maybe this is your sacred space as well. Your deeper subconscious realm. And being a Scorpio, you will have a very deep subconscious realm. So deep that maybe even you don't know the depth of it. But this is your card if you want to screenshot it or just read it so that you can see that I'm not making it up, is what it says. And lastly, we have the card of Fluorite, Simplicity, your Crystal Diva card, Scorpio, which is for the chakra, the crown chakra, which is again kind of highlighted here in this card for me as well. It's one of the things that came through very strongly when I first saw this card, was that light above his head, the kind of crown chakra energy, bringing that energy down into your physical being to help you make things easier, more simplistic. So it says, envision a desert scene miles from anywhere. You are surrounded by the spar bush on the desert floor. In the distance you see mesas, and I think they're cacti, but I'm not sure, rising from the earth and reaching for the sky. Hawks circle, small animals scurry, snakes slither. A peaceful stillness lies over all. This is a place of purity, far from the distractions, noise and confusion of the world you have become so accustomed to. This is a place that knows itself. It does not need a national burger chain for identity. It is comfortable with who it is, which is kind of this energy changing to this energy. The simplicity of the desert is a symbol of an uncluttered existence. Do you long for simplification of your demanding life? Freedom from complexity and overstimulation opens a space within you to entertain some of the profound questions that need to be asked. What is life? Why am I here? How can I help? Is there more to my existence than this everyday humdrum? If so, how can I get in touch with it? Where is the room in your busy schedule for asking these questions or receiving any answers? At this moment in time, there's a lot of space in a lot of people's lives for asking these kind of questions, but whether or not people are going to be prepared to do that is another matter. But Scorpio, maybe that's what this is saying as well, that maybe you need to kind of take that time to go into these deeper transformational questions and answers. Perhaps the issue of whether these questions need to be asked and answered has not risen in your life. But you may wonder why you often feel an emptiness and longing to fill this void. You may try food or shopping trips to the mall. Again, not so easy at this moment in time. But unfortunately, material goods do not satisfy your need. The dress you buy may hang in your closet for months before you wear it. The fishing tackle may stay unused even longer. The fulfilled feeling you search for can only be found by stripping away the extraneous from your life, which again I feel is this card here. Then the true essence of your existence will be revealed. Does this mean that you need to become a monk or a nun? Not unless you feel a calling for these vocations. Are we suggesting that you throw out all your belongings and reject material goods? That could be unrealistic. It is essential, though, to disentangle yourself from the chaos that surrounds you and all that feeds it. The frenzy of your day-to-day life is pervasive. You cannot escape it unless you make a conscious effort. Have you chosen our card today because you want to return to a more basic life? Do you feel a need to prioritise or reprioritise, what is truly important and essential? Would you like to replace savoir-faire and sophistication in your interactions with purity and integrity? Do you dream of a return to innocence? Your desire is the first step from which a new lifestyle can grow. A next step might be to sit down and make 2 lists side by side. One would contain the fundamentals you consider necessary for a fulfilled life. The other may include your current life activities and possessions. Does your life today support the life plan you would like to build for tomorrow? If the 2 lists are at odds with each other, consider how you can bring them into harmony. Make adjustments in your life based on what your heart tells you. And it is very much about your heart, this reading, Scorpio. Your heart has come out a few times here in various different ways. Acknowledge the psychological overcrowding that you are forcing yourself to endure. This is a pollution of your spirit, for which a decontamination may be required. To move from your jam-packed existence to one of simplicity. Free yourself from the unfulfilling patterns that hold you back. Now that's interesting because this card also talks about travelling lightly, letting go of the past, moving forward without the baggage. And this card, which came out with this card, also, don't let the past hold you back. So maybe there is some clearing out for you to do here, Scorpio, on a kind of psychological, emotional level as well, before you can take that leap into your new beginning. The crown chakra is the place where ultimate simplicity and ultimate complexity coexist. This chakra holds universal wisdom to be used in physical incarnation, the ability to distill the many truths into the truth. Fluorite's purple energy assists the crown chakra by helping you see the larger picture beyond the clutter of your daily existence. A return to simplicity may require getting into a different environment to break the spell of the siren's call to routine, production and competition. A place of solitude would provide a conducive environment where you could quietly and mindfully face yourself and your life questions. Again, down here. If this is impossible at this time, take time every day to meditate or find a quiet place out in nature to relax and think. Some people touch into that stillness while running or exercising. Discover where it is that you can quiet and center yourself to do your important inner work. A washing away of worldly concerns, fascinations and preoccupations will clear your mind and spirit to receive. Simplify your life. Purge yourself of the addiction to the fast lane and all its baggage. Step off that express train to nowhere. Let your spiritual destination be the unspoiled and serene environment of the desert. Simplicity is the path to awareness and fulfillment waiting for you there. So Scorpio, simplify your life is what this is saying. If you've got too much stuff, then whether that's physical or emotional or materially, it's time to kind of clear it out, get rid of it, simplify things so that you can see things clearer, I think is what this message is saying here, for you to be able to understand what is actually happening in your life without all the clutter around it, or the confusion of getting things kind of mixed up with other things, so that the new that comes in doesn't still have lots of past involved with it as well. Okay, so those are your messages today, Scorpio. I hope you have enjoyed the reading. Please, if you have liked the reading, can you thumbs it up for me? The more likes it gets, the more it gets out into the bigger world of YouTube out there, the more people get to see it, the more people are likely to come back and have a look at my channel. Hopefully subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, then please could you do so, because that really helps me as well to grow my channel, which is what I'm really trying to do at this moment in time, and get my messages out there. And also tap the bell so that you can receive videos that I will be putting out in the future. I do major astrological events as well. I've just done the Saturn-Mars, as I said, Saturn-Mars square Uranus video. I do full moons and new moon videos as well, which reminds me there will be an astrological link, free natal chart, in the description box down below for you to go and put in your information, your date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, and then you can have a look and find out for yourself where the astrology is affecting you as well at this moment in time. So I do have, like I said, other videos out there. If this one doesn't resonate with you, then you could also go and check out your moon, Venus and rising signs, which is a good reason to check out the chart for yourselves as well, so you know where they are, and then you can go and look at other videos relating to those placements as well. So with everything being said, I think that's it, and I will wish you all the best at this difficult time. Please take care, look after yourselves, and hopefully I will see you back again soon.